Organizations today face a complex and evolving range of cyber security threats. The most prominent include ransomware attacks, phishing and social engineering schemes. You also have insider threats, supply chain vulnerabilities, and increasingly sophisticated attacks on cloud infrastructure. Ransomware in particular is devastating because it is not only it does not only like lock your critical systems, but also threatens some data leaks. Phishing and social engineering continue to be successful because attackers prey on human error by bypassing even the most advanced technical controls. To mitigate these risks, I'll maybe underscore about maybe 5 approaches organizations could look into. They could adopt what we call a multi-layered approach to cybersecurity, often referred to as defense in depth. So number 1, I would recommend regular employee training. That's to raise awareness about phishing and social engineering among some of the threats and the risks which they are likely to be facing. They can also, as part of that regular employee training, they can do what we normally call tabletop trainings, or cyber drills, where sometimes you can actually even mimic some phishing attacks within the organization in a controlled environment, just to see how your employees are reacting. And number 2, robust identity and access management. That may include multi-factor authentication. We cannot overemphasize on this. Yes, your password can be compromised, but if there is a second layer that would need, let's say, to be given for you to access, be it common resources or your network resources, emails, etc., that also at least cushion the damage that the attackers would actually do on your employee or on your organizational data. Then number 3, endpoint detection and response. Tools for real-time threat monitoring. Those are very essential because sometimes you may not actually be aware of what's happening within your environment. Number 4, you could also look around regular patching and updates of software and systems. Most of the times we normally receive those nudges about an update from the operating systems we are using, and we ignore them. They are very important because the reason why sometimes those updates are coming in, they will be also to prevent some of the vulnerabilities that would have been picked up from the experts or from the monitoring that are being done by the software developers also. Then lastly, I could maybe recommend a comprehensive incident response plans. Yes, you may not avoid some attacks happening, but in the event that they do happen, you have to ensure that there is a swift reaction to breaches. And lastly, I would emphasize organizational leadership must also view cybersecurity as a strategic priority, not merely a technical issue. Investing in proactive defense mechanisms and a culture of security is very key. I'll submit that state.
And how can one stay updated with a rapidly evolving cybersecurity landscape?
So when it comes to cybersecurity, is one of the fastest evolving fields, and staying updated requires a continuous commitment to learning. Personally, I keep up to date through a combination of global threat intelligence reports. These are published by reputable cybersecurity companies such as your Cisco's, Mandiant, and CrowdStrike, Checkpoint, just to mention a few. I also prefer professional networks and academic collaboration, particularly with researchers and cybersecurity centers in Africa and abroad. It's always very important that you always understand what's the current affairs, what's happening within your environment. Then also conferences and webinars, including local and international platforms. Like locally in Namibia, we have the Namibia National Cybersecurity Competition, which is an annual event. It has been running for the last decade. And we also have, of recent, also the Namibia International Cybersecurity Conference also among some of those events that one could actually look at. Then we also have at an international level like the Black Hat, RCA conferences, and many other conferences on cybersecurity. And I'm also chairing one of the Cybersecurity for Development conference that will be taking place in August in East London, South Africa. So those are some of the platforms one could actually also try to keep keep abreast with this rapidly evolving cybersecurity landscape, because sometimes you might not really just get to understand what's happening within the space. It's very vast. It's very wide. And you can also look at maybe these last two subscriptions to cybersecurity journals and alerts, like from the computer emergency response teams, the sets. Normally when there's an attack, let's say in any sector, you may actually have sector sets. Like the financial sector is one that is pronounced these computer emergency response teams, and some of the security advisories from vendors like Microsoft and Google, they can also be a source of some of the updated information, because they have a wider user base, and they would want they are normally invest in making sure that they alert their user base. And lastly, engagement with students and youth innovators. It's actually one of the things sometimes we take for granted, especially if you're looking at AI and cybersecurity innovations that are happening even in the space. They help really for us to understand some of the emerging threats and new perspectives. So by combining academic rigor, practical industry insights, and collaborative knowledge sharing, we remain responsible for the changing threat landscape. So let's just be out there trying to look what's happening within our environment. Let's be curious. I think for us to win this war, we just have to be curious.
Yeah. Now, Professor, what role does artificial intelligence play in modern cybersecurity, and how is it helping or hindering security efforts?
With artificial intelligence, it's both a powerful friend or ally and a potential adversary in the cybersecurity space. On the positive side, artificial intelligence enables the automation of threat detection, faster analysis of vast amounts of data, and predictive analytics to identify any anomalies that could be happening within your environment, and that could signal sometimes potential attacks, and you can prevent them. And for example, you can have an AI-powered system that can detect suspicious login patterns or malware activity in real time, much faster than human analysis could, because you might be looking at an organization that is really that big, and you might really have to be scrolling over a very big user base. For example, even just one server within organizations that are normally big, a human approach will not be in a position to do that faster, and AI becomes very handy.